Pete Davis, Dedicated, The Case for Commitment in an Age of Infinite Browsing. In a world accustomed to infinite browsing and a hesitance to commit, Dedicated, The Case for Commitment in an Age of Infinite Browsing, by Pete Davis sheds light on the importance of embracing commitments and finding balance. The book delves into the concept of liquid modernity and its implications on our lives, while exploring the benefits and attractions of remaining non-committal. However, it also addresses the pitfalls of infinite browsing and the shallow lifestyle it can foster. The book offers insights on finding a harmonious balance between flexibility and dedication, aiming to enrich one's life and promote a more solid and connected world.
Beyond liquid modernity. Zygmunt Bauman's concept of liquid modernity represents our fear of making commitments, thus granting us a life of flexibility, authenticity, and novelty. However, it also comes with the downsides of paralysis, anomie, and shallowness. Understanding these consequences allows us to seek a more solid, nurturing, and meaningful existence, striking a balance between freedom and dedication. In our liquid modern world, characterized by an ever-changing landscape and an aversion towards commitments, we find ourselves constantly exploring options. Polish philosopher Zygmunt Bauman refers to this inability to commit to an identity, place, or community as liquid modernity. For some, this state offers flexibility, authenticity, and novelty. We can conveniently change our plans, shed our false selves, and satisfy our cravings for new experiences. Indeed, the notions of YOLO and FOMO encapsulate our present-day desires. You only live once urges us to embrace the novelty of life, while fear of missing out drives us to maximize our experiences. The ease of travel and broad access to the internet have opened up unprecedented opportunities to indulge in varied experiences. However, living a life in perpetual browsing mode also carries significant downsides. These include decision paralysis, the feeling of anomie, and a sense of shallowness. Psychologist Barry Schwartz, in his book, The Paradox of Choice, highlights how an abundance of choices can inhibit our decision-making capabilities. An overload of opportunities can lead to dissatisfaction and uncertainty, rendering us unable to commit to anything. Although limited choices might have made our lives unbearable, having too many options can be equally debilitating. Emil Durkheim, a sociologist from the 1890s, coined the term anomie to describe the despair that arises from the absence of standards or guidance in life. A lack of connection and set expectations can cause us to become too relaxed about our tasks, obligations, and responsibilities. Without a sense of community and caring, we miss out on the warmth and deeper sense of meaning that comes from a supportive environment. Embracing novelty without committing to anything can leave us with a feeling of superficiality. We distract ourselves with the allure of new experiences but never quite achieve the satisfaction and joy that comes with dedication. To overcome such shallowness, we need to focus on diving deeper and rediscovering depth. Life nowadays is marked by an abundance of options and freedoms. In contrast, a century ago, our lives were more limited, with where we lived, who we met, and our vocations all being dictated by the circumstances we were born into. In today's world, we possess the liberty to explore and discover, but we must also recognize that liberation alone is insufficient. We require dedication in addition to freedom. We must be free to do something meaningful and make voluntary commitments. Our constant state of liquid modernity seeps into every aspect of life, including our careers, relationships, and consumption habits. The challenge, then, lies in finding a balance and transcending liquid modernity. A more solid life can be achieved by integrating the advantages of flexibility, authenticity, and novelty, while mitigating the detrimental effects of paralysis, anomie, and shallowness. Building connections, fostering communities, and dedicating ourselves to pursuits that hold genuine value can help us forge a more fulfilling, balanced existence in the ever-fluid world that surrounds us. Embracing the long-haul heroes. On the night when the Emancipation Proclamation united thousands of abolitionists in celebration, it also marked a pivotal point in the story of long-haul heroes. These individuals, like Harriet Beecher Stowe and Frederick Douglass, exemplify true commitment and perseverance over extended periods. Long-haul heroes overcome fears and tackle societal issues in various roles, from regular citizens to patriots, builders, stewards, artisans, and companions. They show us that true change takes time, and in a world that increasingly values instant results, their dedication inspires us to commit ourselves to our own quests for meaningful change. On a momentous New Year's Eve in 1863, thousands of abolitionists celebrated the imminent enactment of the Emancipation Proclamation, a pivotal point in the story of long-haul heroes. These individuals, like Harriet Beecher Stowe, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and Frederick Douglass, are shining examples of true commitment and perseverance over extended periods, transcending the notion that heroism requires a single grand action. Long-haul heroes defy modern society's pursuit of instant results, sticking to their convictions to create lasting change. Regardless of one's background, anyone can embody this counterculture of commitment. The world witnesses these long-haul heroes in different roles, including citizens, patriots, builders, stewards, artisans, and companions. Citizens take on the responsibility of shaping society's future, like Evan Wolfson, who dedicated 32 years to obtaining the constitutional right for same-sex couples to marry. Patriots, in contrast to nationalists, focus on nurturing communities and their connections to specific places. Understanding the intricate elements of a community allows patriots to solve local issues and keep those communities united. Builders are those who dream and create, acting on visions that ultimately materialize into reality. Irene Lee and her siblings, for example, transformed their dream of running a food business into the renowned May Street Kitchen in Boston. But the world doesn't only need builders and reformers, it also requires the maintenance-focused steward. Technology, infrastructure, and social systems need consistent care to ensure society thrives. As writer Mark T. Mitchell said, stewardship is an indispensable feature of a thriving culture. Meanwhile, artisans devote their lives to refining and perfecting their craft. The virtuoso guitarist practicing 10,000 hours or the baker spending years mastering the art of bread-making are testaments to the long-haul dedication of artisans. Furthermore, companions, the individuals who commit themselves to others throughout life's journey, play a crucial role in enriching our lives. Teachers, mentors, and pastors form deep connections and provide guidance in times of need, making their companionship an essential commitment. In a world that increasingly prizes immediacy and fleeting accomplishments, long-haul heroes stand tall as champions of unwavering dedication. By celebrating their legacies and learning from their journeys, we can find inspiration and motivation to commit ourselves to our own quests for meaningful and enduring change. Overcoming commitment fears. The fear of regret, fear of association, and fear of missing out, FOMO, can hold us back from making commitments. By understanding that commitments aren't permanent, embracing our dynamic selves, and seeking purpose in our lives, we can overcome these fears and experience the rewards of mastering commitment in various aspects of our lives. Commitment doesn't have to be as scary as we think. At its core, the fear of commitment stems from three main sources: fear of regret, fear of association, and FOMO. Thankfully, there are strategies to reframe and overcome these fears. The fear of regret holds us back, as we worry that we might spend years on something only to realize we should have chosen another path. According to philosopher Roberto Unger, humans are capable of developing multiple aspects of themselves, but we need to choose a single direction for self-growth, which releases other alternatives. To conquer this fear, recognize that commitments can change, and knowing this can encourage us to take the plunge. Making a choice can be daunting, but it's essential to take action. Trust your instincts, listen to your heart, or opt for a rational analysis. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to decision-making. What truly matters is sticking to the decision you've made, rather than the choice itself. The fear of association crops up when our identity, reputation, or control appear endangered by committing to a person, group or organization. For example, someone who claims they're not the marrying type may fear the loss of identity that a marriage commitment might bring. Similarly, some people might avoid joining a union to preserve a non-complainer persona at work. Reputation-wise, we could resist commitment to a particular institution or organization if it implies defending its history or political stance. This can involve giving up some control and accepting the incongruous aspects of the group. To tackle this fear, see yourself as a fluid and evolving entity, rather than fixed and unbending. Adopting this mindset enables you to integrate your identity and reputation with the commitments you make. Furthermore, being part of a group enhances control by providing collective strength and resources. Lastly, the popular phrase, "you only live once," YOLO, gives rise to the FOMO phenomenon. If we have just one life to live, the idea of being tied down to local responsibilities or mundane tasks can be incredibly unappealing. Writer Felix Biederman explains that two factors motivate us: novelty and purpose. The pursuit of new experiences brings excitement, while purpose provides meaning. FOMO comes from the tension between these two motivators. Chasing constant novelty can lead to a chronic fear of missing out. However, if we focus on cultivating a sense of purpose, we come to understand that commitment is what offers us the depth of experience we truly crave. In summary, confronting and reframing the fears of regret, association, and FOMO allows us to embrace commitment more readily. Recognize the impermanence of commitment, foster a dynamic self-perception, and seek purpose in your life. This will enable you to reap the rewards of commitment and gain the depth of experience that true connections can bring. The power of commitment. Embracing commitment leads to stronger communities, personal identity, and profoundly satisfying experiences. A world dominated by excessive options and waning connections brings forth communities that lack public participation and personal investment. As we strive to keep our options open, our societies experience uprooted identities, weakened connections, and a diminished sense of belonging. By choosing the path of commitment, we shift towards a counterculture that values collaborative relationships, purpose-driven actions, and solid foundations within our societies. Commitment is not just about stability, it can also ignite the passion to explore the depths of our connections, interests, and personal growth. In a world full of options, one might expect a sense of freedom and satisfaction. However, an increasing number of communities exhibit negative consequences from the culture of keeping options open. As participation in public life shrinks, communities lose their vibrancy, and individuals lose a key source of connection and identity. Corporations with an incessant focus on maintaining options have left cities devastated and unemployed, and without the bond of shared commitment, tackling global issues like climate change becomes a daunting task. A sense of belonging and identity is at risk in this boundless culture of options. Individuals feel uprooted and disconnected from the stories and histories that connect them with different generations. Rootless and adrift, people are left to latch onto fleeting experiences to derive a semblance of meaning. Rejecting this culture of eternal browsing and embracing commitment means joining a counterculture that assigns value to people, businesses, and communities. By doing so, we ensure that society is built on solid foundations, with individuals acting in the best interest of the collective. The decision between a liquid world of self-interest and a world of commitment will shape the future of our societies. Commitment saves us from choice paralysis and provides a framework for our actions. It simplifies decision-making and frees up mental energy for more significant choices. In embracing commitment, authenticity is achieved. Actions born from love and support, even when facing challenges, demonstrate true personal connections. Far from limiting our experiences, commitment can lead us to novel depths from which we can derive immense satisfaction. Through dedication to a hobby, friendship, or cause, we uncover deeper layers of understanding and appreciation. It is in the depths of commitment where we discover the true novelty of life.
As we conclude our journey through Dedicated, we acknowledge that while infinite browsing provides flexibility, authenticity, and novelty, it may lead to unwanted paralysis, anomie, and shallowness in life. Pete Davis reminds us of the necessity to commit and dedicate ourselves to various aspects of life, from personal relationships to community building. By embracing commitment, we overcome fear, foster meaningful connections, and rediscover depth in our experiences. As Davis asserts, depth is the ultimate novelty, and it is through embracing the balance between freedom and commitment that we can contribute to a more authentic, meaningful, and connected world.